सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय, महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती की जय. Yes, this time a gap has been a bit too much. Well, but I had to catch up with a lot of work. So you'll have to excuse me. Today we are going to go to the regulation part from Shandilya Upanishad. We talked about YAM and then NIYAM, then we had asana, then we had pranayam, okay, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan and samadhi as 8 parts of yoga, which are going to slowly and gradually lead you to a realized state. Now, we have dealt with YAM. I received quite a few positive, supportive, encouraging comments. People were happy to learn about these before they started on asana and pranayam. Now we are going to touch the second topic of Ashtanga Yoga. Out of the 8 parts of yoga, the second one is NIYAM, that is regulations. We have rules and then we have regulations. Now we are going to talk about regulations. Now what are the regulations we need to observe? If you are going to do, it's not a small achievement. Yoga is a discipline which needs to be known really clearly and then observed properly. So we need to have certain regulations now to be observed. The first one of it is tapas or tap. So that is some sort of the body needs to undergo through certain observing of penances. Now you say, now in this hectic world of today, what sort of penances do you expect us to follow? Don't worry, we'll make it simple for all of us, because I'm also, I'm not also myself not very comfortable with very rigorous and strenuous concept. Now, there are people who have tried to, say for example, a strenuous, you stand on your one leg for about 1 year. This sort of a penance, this is done by some of the rishis. Then there are some who are willing to sit until head in sand. Now, let's not go into that. Some of them are rigorous. They won't eat for years. Now they will only live on breath, and let's be normal. Well, that's what I am. So let's start with some tapasya, which is within our limits and which is a very beautiful concept. Okay, so we are going to take up tap, like let us say, reading of or recitation of prayers. That's a very nice tapasya. Normally, if you achieve it between morning 3 to 6, it's a nice tapasya. So you don't commit yourself for 1 full year. You can say let's say for 1 week, morning between 3 to 6, I shall say some prayers or chant mantras. And then you're likely, you may be tempted you have a late night with your friends and all. Yes, now for 1 week, since we have promised ourselves some discipline, so for that 1 week, it's not that you should not stay up late night, but see that you still get up. So let the body not, yes, if you have taken certain decision, then stick to it, because that's the only way you'll be able to experiment with tapasya. Now, for me, let's say, whatever I speak, I have been asked by my guru intuitively that if I speak between 3 and 6, will at all bear her words in it. So I need to get up at 3, and between 3 and 6, so whatever lectures on videos you see, it is between morning 3 and 6 that I speak. And since it is a Brahma Muhurta, and since it was a sort of an order given to me by my Guru, so I assume that it will be like a tapasya. So something small, simple. Now you can always, you can have various. Now I will give you a very beautiful story of a great saint, Tembe Swami. The story is there in my playlist. If you go to saints, you will come across Tembe Swami. So hear it. Now here was a saint, Tembe Swami, who accepted a bhiksha, that is any alms from certain type of a community. This does not go for a caste conflict. It's just that some vows are kept by people. Now this was like a vow. So he would only take from the certain family. Sometimes for days together when he traveled, he did not come across a family which was which befitted that plan of his. So for days he would go hungry. Now, it's up to you how to look upon such disciplines. But somehow we need the body. If the body is at leisure because of some concepts, we need to withhold from that leisure for at least a short time, say 1 hour or 2 hours. So 3 to 6, if you say, is a morning time, is a beautiful sleeping time. My God, you can enjoy your nice sleep with the comfort. It's a second lazy sleep that we can have at our age. But then, yes, now we've decided that we are going to do some tap. So we will get up between 3 and 6 and prevent the body from succumbing to the laziness. All right. So I think succumbing to the wrongs is something we want to practice, and that can be called tap. So tapasya can include this. This you can take any other sadhana. For example, you decide to read one particular book, say a life sketch of a great saint. Then you do it within 10 days or 20 days. Or suppose you want to read the entire Jnaneshwari or Bhagavad Gita or whatever text you take. You look upon it as it's not just a novel that you are reading. It's something to do with Vedas, with something deeper. So give it a proper time, give it a proper posture, a seat and everything, and practice it as if it's some sort of a sadhana that you are doing. It's a spiritual practice. And then the results will start coming to you gradually. I'll be introducing types of tapasya with all of you, which all of you can do. Even if you take up meditation, because we are going to Atma Sakshatkar, meditation is a big sadhana. Suppose if you decide that every day for 1 hour I'll meditate. The body is sometimes probably tired, sometimes want to sleep, sometimes the body is hurting you if you sit. Be comfortable initially, but then try and see if you can stretch the time. Say first try it for 20 minutes, then 40 minutes, then 60 minutes. And try and sit for at least 1 hour meditation every day. Even withholding that body in that posture for some time can be looked upon as a tapasya. So tap is very essential. Yes, it needs to be more and more rigorous, but let's not start with it. We'll start with something simple. Or even having control over food habits. It's a tapasya, but you do it with a cause that I'm doing it as a tapasya. Then it starts showing results. Second is santosh. Santosh is be satisfied. Now, I know we are all now, there is so much in the market. My God, if you go to malls, you want to keep on shopping. It's crazy. And not only that, you need to go to malls, the malls are coming to you. Naptol is there at home. You have Amazon coming. All of them are flooding you with items and temptations. Of course, their job they have to do. Let's not crib about that. Even trying to control, yes. Even as I said, if you decide not to entertain your eyes with a lot of this material joys, that can also be a tapasya. If you decide not to speak ill about others, that can be a vak tapasya. That is means speech. Speech is observed, controlled. So all these tapasya we can do, but this is only possible if you tend to be a person with satisfaction. If you keep on craving for things, then we may not be able to maintain this regulation. So santosh is be satisfied with whatever situation it's given. It does not mean that you should not try to make progress in life. But if you are happy, let's say with about 4 saris or 6 saris or 6 dresses, let's say, then wanting to buy more and more and more should not be a crave. I know, I mean, well, I leave it to you all to see where to draw the line of santosh for yourself. Now, third is astikya. What is astikya? You believe about the merits and demerits as per your actions in the world. Now, you have to believe in that if I do wrong, I am going to get punished. If not by law, or if not by parents because they've not seen, or if not by law because law doesn't know that I have wronged, don't worry. There is a law above the law in the court. That is going to look at you and decide and judge. And that you cannot escape. I know sometimes I too get frightened when I keep on telling others, beware. Well, I have to even say it to myself, beware. Let's not do wrongs, and especially not to others. I mean, to yourself, if you do, you are going to suffer. But at least don't do wrongs to others. So that's the minimum you can do, is believe in the merits and the demerits. That don't you think it's good to have some punya, that is auspicious merits, meritorious deeds, credited into your account. Now we start the children's bank account at a very young age. So we can do that. For this I have suggested one very nice trick. Let's say trick. The trick is that every day you try to do one good act. Every day you try to do one good act and write it down in your diary and say it's one merit that I've worked for. You can give a little alms to somebody who is in need, or you can study something, or you can chant a mala, or you can do anything and take it as a meritorious act and prescribed by holy texts, and then put it in your bank or a diary you maintain and write it down and keep it with you. So it helps you. Now I'll give you a very nice example. Once I had been to my ashram, and just like I had gone from Pune, many people had come from different places to my ashram. And suddenly about the catering concept, I think we were about more than 25 people who had come. So my guru made a beautiful plan. She said, those who have come without informing the ashram should not stay back for meals, which was a very justifying act, thought, so that she could protect the catering group there. And of course, since I too had not gone there with information, I decided to leave instantly. As I was about to leave, another announcement came. And that announcement said, let Anuradha, oh, that's me, let us stay back. for her meals. My God, my joys knew no bounds. I was thrilled. Somebody, my guru had given me a special invitation. But of course, I did my best. I ate very little that day, just like as if I had, tried to give in my best. And in the evening, she explained, my Gurudev explained to everyone that I was able to stop just one or two, and why not all? Because they were carrying a bank of punya, merits with them. I could encash them over for meals. Whereas those who did not have merits, too many merits in their accounts, I did not think it right to encash the merits by just giving them meals. They could have been utilized for something else. Now remember, friends, this is a very important message. Have your merits stored. There's one more very nice thing I would like to tell you under this merits. And there was a great lady, Anusuya. She was a sage Atri's wife. And she was so loyal to her husband and served him so righteously. Absolutely. I mean, there was like the husband is the ultimate truth. And if with this feeling, see what best you can attain. Let me just give you an example. Of course, some youngsters tell me, why don't you ask the husbands to also have the similar feeling? Yes, let them have. Let them develop it if they want. But let me give you the reason why I'm telling you this story. So, the gods had come to her doorstep because she used to give whatever the people at the doorstep asked for. So she would give them feed them food and all and send. So her loyalty had taken a top place amongst all the women folk who were worshipped then. So amongst them, even the goddesses who were worshipped, they too noticed her. And they felt that she has merits more than us. So they asked the three Trinity gods that you go down, and why don't you go down and test Anusuya? So the three gods come, and they come dressed as sages and ordinary common man, and they come to ask for meals. And they make strange demands that we would like to step in and we would like to sit there and we would like you to derobe yourself and serve. Now, for a wife of a sage, and especially of the standard of Atri, she realized it, that this is not, these three are not ordinary men. Either they are Asur or they are gods, one of the two. And she knew Asur would not dare to enter her abode. So she knew they were gods. So she took a little water in her hand. And what does she say now? Let me tell you. She says, if I have served with complete loyalty my husband, Atri Muni, and if I have held him in highest regard as God, and I have not had anybody else of that stature in my mind, she says, then this particular water, which I will throw on these three, shall make them turn into babies. And she sprinkles that water, and the three lords of the heaven, they turn into small babies in her house. Now, this is what you can do. If you are in trouble in life, you can take little water in your hand. And let's say you have been very caring about your parents. You have been very honest about your service to your parents. Then you can say, if I have served my parents rightly with love and grace, then may this particular water in my hand help me to achieve, say, let's say a job, or you can say whatever you want. So good merits is very essential to every human being. You can encash them. You can encash them in times of crisis. And trust me, that is why you must try to have a bank of merits. So, all those who start a bank of merits, please let me know. Please let me know. Then you have Dan. I had told the other day, Daya, along with Daya, that is kindness and compassion to mankind, we need Dan. In us, we have, my Gurudev used to say, De Dan tar sute giran. So if there are bad times, if your health is not good, then you can also use this. Take little, whatever little you can offer to poor in the form of money, cash, or whatever it is. Just give it, and while offering it, say that De Dan tar sute giran. So let this eclipse of ill health which is surrounding me pass, and for which I am willing to offer a small donation to the needy. Friends, this works as miracles. De Dan tar sute giran. I am going to give you a lot of such clues which can make your life easy for you. And of course, Dan, you give it to the needy, but in implicit faith. In us, it is one of the, in Hinduism, it is considered as one of the essential factors. That is why when the priests are invited to homes for prayers, the one of the concept is Dan. Dakshina is different and Dan is different. Dan, you are giving it to the people who are in need. Dakshina, you are giving for the knowledge imparted to you. So remember, that's very, that is your fees. I won't say fees, but that is given out of your own choice. But it is given in the form of having received something. Here you are giving because you have something in umpteen and somebody else needs a bit of it. So remember the difference between Dakshina and Dan. So Dan is what you need to practice. Then of course there's another one which is important is Ishwar Pujan. So it is important that you spend at least 5 minutes of your day in worshipping some deity you love. Let's not define it. No religion, no nothing. Sun doesn't have a religion. Moon doesn't have a religion. Water, air, all that we breathe in has no. How can breath have religion? Breath is life. Breath is God. So it doesn't have. So just give a little time in worshipping. Now, there are different ways of worshipping. Some may want to offer some water and flowers and things like that. Some may want to do something good, but to a poor, and consider that that is a worship. All right, you define your worship mentally, that by offering one meal to one poor, I consider I am doing some worship. All right, then it will be accepted as worship by the ultimate. Oh, he knows, the God knows plenty of languages, plenty of styles of worship. So don't worry. There is a very beautiful story I would like to tell. There was one girl. She used to make a garland for Lord Pandhari. Pandharpur's Vithala is a very gorgeous god, and she used to make garland for the Lord. And while she used to make for Pandharinath, her father used to go and during the worship offer that garland. One day he sees that she tries it on herself and sees whether the garland is correctly made, size-wise and everything. But innocently, the child is innocent. So innocently she puts it on herself and sees. Now, of course, what you wear and then offer to God is not something which is done normally during worship. You offer something which is not used. So the father next day scolds her and says, "You are not doing the garland." And next day he makes it himself. And no, he says, "You're not going to wear it before you give it to me to offer it to God." So the next day the child very hurtfully doesn't put it on herself. She just puts it in the plate and she leaves it for the God. And the father, when he goes to offer it to Lord Pandhari says, "No, till she doesn't wear it, I shall not wear it." Now this is love of God for the devotees. Remember, if you are innocent, if you are, this transaction with God, the contact with God, there is nothing as beautiful as this. You have to understand there is a beautiful thing in worship. I shall explain more about it when we do meditation. Worshipping God is one of the beautiful activities of the day. So do it in your own way. You will be your most beautiful self when you are worshipping. You will be your most beautiful self. You worship genuinely and then take your picture and go for the aura. You will see radiance all around you. Yes, that spiritual energy is going to heal you. Heal you. So when you are worshipping, that 5 minutes that you dedicate to God, they are going to be utilized by giving you the energy which is going to protect you for the entire day. So it's very important. Worship is a very important regulation which is in Shandilya Upanishad. Then you have Siddhanta Shravan. Now there are people who say we don't believe in Ved and we don't believe in all these Shastra and all. All right, doesn't matter. Don't believe it because you haven't heard about it. You haven't read it. So how can I expect you to believe in it? You can't believe. Obviously you can't. Then why don't you just inquire about it? Why don't you just let somebody tell you a little about it? The other day, my grandson came with a new song where one of the youngsters have rebelled against the discipline which was inculcated in school, the knowledge which was imparted in school. And he says, it has been of no use. They did not teach us how to pay tax. They taught us some biological word he has used. Then they have not taught us how to go to the banks. So now this is what, the song is very interesting. I have decided I'll be talking about these younger generations' rebellious thoughts, just to see whether I can help them to see the other side. So I was explaining to my grandson. I says, a parent gives, anybody who gives you something in life tries to give the best. But it may not be the best because the time changes. Everything changes, the requirements change. So therefore, it's a different world you enter into. By the time you go into school, you are 5 years old. When you emerge out of the school, you are 15 years old. 10 years, the world has undergone a change. Change is the rule of law, rule of nature, a law of nature. So what is taught to you by the time you come out may not be. But the teacher has given the best to you. And if you can now think, all right, now this is what I have learned and this is what I need to learn. So that additional credit can be given to you instead of blaming the others who you feel have failed you. Because gratitude is something towards teachers. Is a very essential factor. Let's give them their due credit. Well, friends, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be popular amongst you youngsters, but give me a little place, and try to hear what the Vedas say, these Siddhantas say, these principles say. Let it be just somewhere one mark in your daily page, and see sometimes you may add to your wisdom. That's a good word. Okay, then you have Rit. Rit is if you do some wrong, you at least feel ashamed of it. If you have done something wrong, the least you can do is feel sorry about it. Don't worry about, you don't have to go and tell it to the world, all right, that you have wronged. No, but you feel guilty so that you at least try not to repeat it. So that's a very essential part in our sadhana. For example, I know sometimes when I get up at 3 and then I want to take the blanket again, again have my little second sleep. Actually, it ends up with just dreams. But I just want the body to laze around. And then when I get up, I know I've missed out my Brahma Muhurta today. Yeah, so I feel bad about it. So at least with little bad, the next day at least I get up. Uh, One day my grandson, he was little, he comes and tells me, he says, don't you want to tell to the world what your guru has told you? So I said, yes, I want to. So he said, then how much do you sleep? Next morning at 3, I was sitting in front of my guru's idol and I said, is there something I need to tell? And of course, I was able to compose 8 Urdu poems. Actually, I know very little of Urdu except that we were in Hyderabad. And the poems have emerged beautiful. It was a message to Allah. We'll leave it at that and we'll proceed to Siddhanta Shravan. We have finished. That is, inquire, make inquiry. Rit is feeling ashamed if you have wronged. Then Mati. Mati is have your faith installed in Ved. Right now, Ved is the word I'm using for a knowledge-based Shastra. Now, there might be people of other religions and all. Yes, you may be having your own text. So I want you to have faith in them. Just, we all need right interpreters. Those interpretations which will make us a better person is what we need. So have faith in those texts because they may mean no harm to humanity. They cannot mean harm to humanity. If they have emerged as texts and outlived a certain period, we have to have faith that they mean some good to humanity. They cannot be harmful to humanity. It has to be read suitably according to the situations in which we are living now. Now we go to the next one is jap, that is chanting. I like this activity. I started enjoying doing my chanting every day. So chanting is a very beautiful practice. Now again, there are 3 types of chanting. One is a very loud chanting like Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Namaste Rudram Anyava Uto Taishve Namaha Namaste. So this is loud chanting. Now there is a soft chanting which is there. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. This is soft chanting. Now the loud chanting will give you, say if it gives you 1% merit, the soft chanting is going to give you 100% merit. And the mental, which is just a meditational mantra, you recite it softly in mind without movement even of your tongue. Now that is going to give you merits which are worth crores of the count. Of course, but in public, if the priests have to perform something, they are loud. And but there are also, whenever I used to meditate and I used to say Om loudly, my guru used to tell me, don't say it so loudly, you have to hear it. You have to hear it. So you don't say it. Yes, I'm going to teach you about astral notes, Nad, and I'm going to tell you how to meditate on them. We will go later into meditation. It's a later ang which is closer to Samadhi. Then the last one we have is Vrat. Vrat is again various observances. Now, as I told you initially, that you can maintain a Vrat. Vrat is just a discipline. You promise yourself, right from, suppose you say, I shall not lie forever, or what if of this month, all right, or I shall not fight. All these small, or instead little more closer to the discipline of sadhana, I shall meditate every day for 2 hours, or let's say I shall chant minimum 108 times, I will do 1 mala or 10 malas, whatever you want. So those who are born on 1 can do 1 mala, those who are born on 21st can do 21 malas. So it's all up to you because they are your lucky numbers. We'll talk about it a little later. But today I have talked about NIYAM, that is regulations, as highlighted in Shandilya Upanishad. Friends, I know there was a gap, but as I said, I was extremely occupied, and let's hope you like this topic. We will be going to the 3rd topic, NIYAM, and that is Asan. All right. Now, I'll have something very nice to tell you about asana. I'll be relating, I will be talking about it in my next video. Please don't forget to look into my atmarupa.in. I need to yet myself go and look at it. I have to take the help of my instructor. Well, I'm learning new things, so you might as well learn some ancient knowledge. All right, this is Swami Radhikanand from Pune. Thank you.